what's going on? It's your girl, Ikwego all the way from London, UK. What's going on, people? Tell me something I don't already know. Tell me what's going on in your world. How are you guys coping with the isolation? This is the third week, I think. This is the third week. You understand? Are we doing okay? Is everything all right? Yeah. As always, when I come into the live, I need 1 minute or 2 minutes to just sort out the technicalities. This life. All right, just give me a second. But otherwise, if you come into the live, give us a. Do abusive people change? Yeah, that's the one. Give us a thumbs up. Say hello so I can say hello back at you. And you get me, and see what's going on. What's up? Don't mind me, I'm just humming. Oh, there's this song that I'm trying to change. I want to do my own version of it, yeah? That song. It's a very old gospel song. It says it's in the air that I breathe. What does that sound like? Guru guru. But yeah, let's do a different one. So basically, my name is Ikwego all the way from London, UK, coming to you from Talk to Dot. And today, our lovely topic today is a topic that I keep getting questions about. People keep asking me, can an abusive person change? Can a narcissist change? You know what? First of all, I don't like to use the word narcissist. I don't like to give people names because I think that if something is bad, you got bad character. But for the sake of psychologists that have named certain types of characters, narcissists. So they are narcissists, and then they spend years and years and years trying to understand them and trying to understand why they are the way they are, why they behave the way they behave. And personally, I think that narcissists actually enjoy the fact that they've been given a name, a title, and they got lots of people trying to understand why they're so messed up, what happened in their childhood or what didn't happen, or what happened while they were growing up. They actually enjoy it because if one thing you need to know about narcissists is that they like to be in the spotlight. For any reason at all, they love it. They love to be in the spotlight. So today's topic is, can abusive people change? Very interesting. Hold up, I just want to put something in there. Oh man, I can't do that, can I? That's strange. All right. Let's see. So, can abusive people change? In a simple one-liner, no, an abusive person cannot change. In a very popular statement that I've heard all my life, it says people don't change, they just get older. So you get me. Now, for abusive people, men and women, narcissists as they call them, they enjoy the way they are. They absolutely love the way they are. So, and these people don't have feelings. They don't feel. They don't have empathy. So why would they want to change? As long as they are the way they are, it's going to get them all the attention in the world that they want. So can an abusive person change? No. The other thing is, a lot of times when people ask me, oh, can he change or can she change? I think the question I ask them is that, why are you so interested in them changing? Haven't you experienced enough pain in your life? Haven't you gone through enough sadness? Why are you so interested in them changing? I think the key question is, can you change? You being the victim of abuse, you being the victim of that narcissistic abuse, can you change? Are you willing to change? The time you dedicate to trying to find out if this person can change, if they're going to change, if they're going to get better, why don't you make yourself a better person? See, there's something about you, and this is the hard truth. There's something about you, right, that attracts certain kinds of people. There's a part of you that is potentially broken. There's a part of you that is potentially empty. There's a part of you that has a gap. Now, narcissists are specialists in seeing and finding out this kind of people. They know how to seek out people like this. So as opposed to finding out, can this person change or can that person change? How about, can I change? How can I upgrade myself? How can I love myself better? How can I show myself more love? How can I love myself for who I am? How can I elevate myself to the next level? These are the questions that you need to be asking yourself. Like I said, people do not change. They just get older, right? Give me a second. Someone is typing up something. Like I said, if you come into the live here, give us a thumbs up so that we know you're here. And then also, if you got questions, any questions at all with regards to this topic here, please holla. Tell me what your tell me what the question is, and I will try to answer it to the best of my knowledge. If you are in an abusive situation, relationship, no, it's not your fault and you're not alone. There's lots of people going through abuse on a daily basis. You may not know about it and think that abuse is such a strange thing, but it's because a lot of people that go through abuse, they don't talk about it. So why we think that abuse it happens to certain kinds of people, certain kind of women or certain kind of men. No, that's not the case. It happens to the ones that you don't think it's happening to, and it's happening every day, you understand? So I can tell you some stats. Give me a second, I'll just give you some stats really quickly about how common abuse is, so that you see that it is not as uncommon as we think it is. It is far from, it is anything but uncommon. You understand? Did you know, right? 1 second, that every 9 seconds, a woman is assaulted. You know that? Every 9 seconds, a woman is assaulted. 9 seconds. That's how often abuse takes place. Every 9 seconds. Okay? You understand? And this is based on those that have actually come out to talk about it. So every 9 seconds, you can count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, boom, an assault takes place. All right? Every what's it called? Every 60 minutes, which is it every 60 minutes? Every minute, rather, you got 20 people, both men and women, that get assaulted. Every minute, 20 people. Every year is running into millions. So that's how much people get abused. Abuse is not uncommon. It's all around us. Did you know that 60% of people that get abused, they haven't reported to the police? 60%. So how would you know about it? The only time you know about it is when people report to the police and it becomes a big case. All right? 30% of victims, 30% of assault cases, they're people that came out of an abusive relationship. So 30% of assault cases, they came from abusive relationship. What's the other one now? 7% of people never talk about the fact that they were abused. So why do you think that abuse is uncommon? It's very common. So your neighbor might be abused. She might just never talk about it. The guy you work with, he might be in an abusive relationship. He might be one of the 7% that don't talk about it, So for someone in an abusive relationship, going back to the topic, hoping and believing, maybe my abusive partner is going to change. The truth is they're not going to change. That you experience certain things is a play on your emotions. Now, when an abusive person has locked you down in a relationship, they will show you so much abuse that you will begin to ask yourself, what's going on here? Is it because of me? Did I create the problem, And then when it looks like you're getting tired of it and you want to check out of this relationship, guess what? They will apologize. They will give you a nice, heartfelt apology. And that's the reason there is to confuse you. So you begin to see, well, hang on, we've had good times together, then we got bad times together, so maybe I just look at the good times. No, it's all a trick. I'll tell you something, right? And I like to give vivid examples. I like to give vivid examples about things. And one of the examples that I will give, hold on, let me share this out. Share. Put it there. One of the things that I would like to share with people is hold on 1 second, about abusive people and if they can change, is when they apologize, right? They don't mean the apology. The apology doesn't mean anything. It's just a trick. The apology is part of the abusive cycle to keep you there. Have you ever heard of the saying that says, what's it called now? Crocodile tears. You ever heard of crocodile tears? And this is something I heard all the time as a child growing up. I never really understood the concept of it. Do you know why? Do you know why the concept of crocodile tears exists? So basically, right, when a crocodile has caught an animal and it's in its mouth, now it is literally struggling to swallow it because it's dry and it's choking. So the crocodile will begin to release tears, and this is science. The crocodile will begin to release tears. Now the tears will go down from the eyes of the crocodile into the croc's mouth. The tears, with the salt content and everything, it helps the crocodile swallow what's in its mouth. So when they say crocodile tears, crocodile tears means that it's not real. The reason why a crocodile cries is because it needs the tears to help it swallow its victim. Now transfer that to an abusive relationship. The reason why your abusive partner cries, the reason why they beg you and they apologize is because they need to rope you in more so they can eat you, literally swallow you and destroy you for real. You get me? So if you're looking to find out, does an abusive person change? They don't. I don't know anyone that has changed. They just keep amending their tactics. They just keep amending, the stuff they do so that, they deceive. They learn. They're very, very intelligent people. Don't be deceived. They might act like they're dumb or, the world is against me. No, it's not true. It's just a trick. They want you to always feel like, you need to help them. They need your emotions, your sympathy. That's where they want you to be. They want you to baby them. They're not a child. If someone is an adult in a relationship, it means you're grown enough. If you're in a relationship and you cry all the time and you want someone to baby, then you need to go home to your mother, male or female. Now understand, both men and women get assaulted and abused. You understand? So it's, when I say abuse, I'm not focusing on women. It is abuse is abuse. You understand? So I see people stay in relationships for so long because they hope that the person is going to change. The truth is, they are not going to change. So you need to tell yourself and you need to make a decision and say, right, this is who this person is. They're not going to change. In fact, they are going to get worse. So you have to ask yourself, do you want to live in that? Is that a choice you're making? I see people. I saw a post the other day, and I shared the post, and the post says, "Stay indoors. It's lockdown. Stay indoors." People are like, "Oh, I can't stay indoors. Oh, I need to go outside. I need to do this." But then there's loads of people that are in abusive relationships, and they stay for 20 years and they don't go anywhere. You're in a toxic relationship and you can't move. But now you can't stay in the house. It's just a post. So the point is, don't stay in a toxic relationship, right? Don't stay with an abuser. They will never change. I don't know anyone that has changed. I've not read about anyone that has changed. You understand? I give this example all the time, right? Sorry, I love my coffee. I have to drink coffee. I give this example all the time about someone who is under the influence of alcohol or hard drugs, substance misuse. So they become an addict. They're an alcoholic or they're a drug addict or something. They've got like this thing. Now, you take the person through the alcoholics and addicts program, and they go through the process. They peel off layers upon layers, and over 6 months, 1 year, they're now clean. They no longer have the desire for alcohol because they know how to stay away from it. They no longer have the desire to do drugs. They know how to stay away from it. Guess what? After they've made all that effort to stay clean, you take them to a party or a club where there's loads of alcohol, there's loads of drugs, there's all that stuff going on. How much resistance do you think they're gonna have? Keep doing that to them every day. Every day, take them to a club, put alcohol around them, put drugs around them. Every day, every day, every day, every day, every day, every day. Guess what? At some point, they're gonna break. They're gonna go back to doing drugs and going back to doing alcohol. So if you're in an abusive relationship and you say, "Oh, you know what? We went for counseling, we done this program or that program," and guess what? He's changed or she's changed. When you get back with that person, you become like the alcohol in the life of an alcoholic. You become like the drug in the life of the druggie. You become the trigger. Remember that you lived in a relationship with that person where they abused you left, right, center, up and down. And now they say they've changed. Maybe they have. You get back into a relationship with them. It only takes a matter of days, a matter of months, where they look at you as that same person that they used to control and had power over, and then it starts all over. So even if by some miracle an abusive person was able to change, you don't want to be the same person back in the relationship because you'll be the trigger. You understand? It's not something that's going to work. So you need to ask yourself, now I know these people don't change. In fact, they don't just not change, they get worse. Is that something you want to live with? You understand? Now, there's people that got children. Yeah? There's people that have children and they're thinking, what am I going to do about the kids? I don't want to be a single mother. I don't want to be a single father. I don't want to be a product of a failed relationship. Guess what? There's two things in life. There's knowing there's knowing when it's too much, when you've had enough. You live in it, and there's giving up. So when you know that you've had enough and you're giving that thing up, that's not losing, that is victory. Because a lot of people who cannot tell when they've had enough, they stay there and they die in it. Now if you have children, you're not doing your children any good. Because you're living in your children in a very toxic and abusive relationship. Now I'll tell you more about statistics, because I just love stats. You understand? Real life. Do you know that 4 in every 5 boys that grew up in a home that there was domestic violence or domestic abuse will grow up to become an abusive person? Let me say that again. Every 4 in 5 boys, 4 in 5 or 1 in 4, I don't know, check Google, that grew up in an abusive house, an abusive relationship, will grow up to become an abusive man. Now, as a woman, right, you stayed in that relationship because you didn't want to have a broken marriage. Oh, I don't want my children not to have a father. So you let them watch you being abused day after day after day after day after day. Now, how would you feel that your son grew up to become exactly as the abusive person? To begin, if you want to end the cycle of abuse, you need to start with the next generation. You have to protect your children. You understand? You don't need to allow children to see certain things because their brain soaks up a lot of stuff, and once emotionally they have accepted a particular pattern, it takes a whole lot to change it. A lot of people that are abusive parents today, men and women, it's all coming from their childhood and what they saw. It takes an awful lot to grow up in an abusive home and not grow up to be an abusive person. I'll tell you more about statistics, yeah? You like my cup? You can get that online. You understand? I'll put the link later. And when I create this stuff, I create it because I want people to have something positive around their house. And then when people buy it, we use it to feed children that are suffering and parents that are struggling. So that's what we do with the merchandise. Yeah, my t-shirt as well. Beautiful. Yes, going back. Statistics. So most boys that grow up in an abusive home end up being abusive men. So what you're trying to protect them from, they end up being that thing to someone else's child. On the other hand, they might grow up to be very timid and end up being men who find themselves in relationships with women that abuse them. On the other hand, they might just decide to say, you know, this man-woman relationship is not really working out. I'll just go same-sex relationship. Now, it's not like they were born that way, but situation and what they've seen has pushed them to that direction. Now, let's go to the girls, right? So you got daughters, right? The statistics also show that girls that grow up in an abusive relationship, right? Mother and father. A girl that watched her father beat her mother all the time, or vice versa, or an abusive woman towards the man, and saw it in her childhood growing up. It takes a lot for her to grow up to be a different and a decent person. Statistics show that the greater percentage will end up as one. Either she will become that girl that will find herself drawn mysteriously to abusive men. So she'll find herself in a relationship where she's being abused, and guess what? She won't say anything, because all her life growing up, her mother never stood up against abuse. So in her mind, this is how women are supposed to be treated. So she will accept it. So now that's your daughter you're trying to protect. You've actually just made her someone who is going to be a victim of abuse when she grows up. The second option is she might just hate anything that has to do with marriage and relationships, because for her, what she saw growing up was war. And for her, it doesn't make sense. Like, my parents always pretended when they were in church that they're happy. In the house, they fought all the time. So why would I want to be in something called marriage? If you listen to people, children or men and women that say, oh, I don't believe in marriage, it's just a piece of paper, I don't believe in it. If you dig deep into their childhood, you'll find out why they have that perception, why they don't believe anymore. It's because of what they saw. Now, you potentially have raised a girl who grew up to say, I don't believe in marriage, I don't believe in men, all men are bad. But the truth is, not all men are bad, only some men are bad. So she will grow up to be very resistant, very kind of aggressive, and probably become an abusive woman. Because for every man who tries to be kind and loving, in her head, she's thinking, he's just like my father. And she will be so resistant and so stubborn that she might even go to she might cross the line to becoming an abusive partner without knowing. The other category, like the men, is she might decide that all men are bad, so I'll have nothing to do with men. I'm just going to be a lesbian. Now remember, she wasn't born with affections towards the same sex. She just grew up in a house where she couldn't just see, she just saw man and woman, they just cannot fit together and be happy. So you know what? I just don't want to have anything to do with men. I'm just going to go the other way. So when you stay in an abusive relationship saying that you want to protect your children, actually you're not protecting them, you're killing them. Spirit, soul, and body. A lot of children that grow up in abusive relationships, when they get to teenage age or even younger, they turn to drug and substance misuse. They turn to all kinds of things. They have issues with their education, they have issues with friendships and social interaction. You know, some of them, a small percentage of them actually end up committing suicide before they even make it to adulthood. That's what staying in an abusive relationship does to children. So if you're staying in an abusive relationship hoping that he will change or she will change, they don't change. The longer you stay there, you will keep having things that will keep you trapped there. You'll have children and you say, oh, because of the children, I need to stay. You understand? I need to stay. But then you're damaging the children. It's not an easy choice to end a relationship with someone that you love, someone you believe in, someone who is your husband, the father of your children. But sometimes as an adult, you need to put your foot down and say, hang on, we came together, we have children. If this life is not going to benefit the next generation, then we need to take a step back, especially when you are not happy. Your happiness in every relationship is paramount. If it's not just about a relationship, it's life in general. Imagine yourself in an office, in a job where you are so unhappy. You know what? Every day you're checking online, looking for a new job, looking for how to get out of that office. You don't stay in a job that you're not happy. You don't stay in a job, you don't stay in a place you're unhappy. But you find people staying in very toxic relationships. Why? Because they played on your emotions. So you need to wake up and tell yourself, as much as I will not stay in a church when I'm not happy, as much as I won't stay in an office where I'm not happy, as much as I won't stay in an environment where I'm not happy, I won't stay in a university or a school where I'm not happy. Don't stay in a relationship that you're not happy. There's nothing there. There's nothing good that's going to come out of it. The extreme end of abusive relationship will end in one person killing the other. Whether it be the person who was the abuser or the victim, one person will kill themselves. And that's just it. So at the end of the day, looking into the future, is it worth it? Back to the question, can an abusive person change? No, they can't change. Okay? They can't. People have dedicated their lives. You understand? Psychologists have dedicated their lives to researching and trying to find out, okay, how can we treat this? How can we create a program? How can we do that? No. Because you have to understand, an abusive person, first of all, they don't think they're wrong. They don't believe they're wrong. So how can a person change when they believe they are right? Now, if you're just coming in, give us a thumbs up, give us a wave, My name is Dottie Kurigalachiru. I'm coming to you from Talk to Dot. I spend a lot of time talking about domestic abuse and domestic violence. I tend to capitalize more on the non-violent kind of abuse, not the physical part, because a lot of people are in abusive relationships and you know what, they don't even know. I see stuff on social media, and in my head I'm trying to understand what's going on. There's a story I saw a couple of days ago. I think that was on Friday actually, or on Saturday. There's a young girl in Nigeria who's taking some poison called Sniper. She's taking Sniper. She's a young mother. She's taking Sniper, and potentially I think she may have died. Now, in my head I'm thinking, why? People say, oh, maybe hardship or this. Sometimes, hardship is not enough to make a person kill themselves. People need to dig deep. I've actually asked the question. If anyone knows that story, I want to know what went on there. You'll be surprised that when you look into that story, it was the relationship that led her to killing herself. Do you understand? Now, when people say, oh, you shouldn't have killed yourself, she shouldn't have killed herself, should have just left. It's not that easy. There's a lot that goes on in abusive relationships, yeah? And the longer you stay in one, the more you become a crazy person. You become just as crazy as the person. You understand? So, do abusive people change? I have to keep repeating this because science has proved that we have to repeat things several times so people can get it. No, abusive people do not change. They just change the game. Let's take it like that. They change the game. So when an abusive person says, oh, I'm sorry, it will never happen again, that's just part of the game. You understand? They are master manipulators. They know how to get into your emotion to get you believing. So for every time, okay, for instance, let's start from the beginning. Abusive people, narcissists or whatever you want to call them, they want to lock you down in something. They want you to commit to something. So first off, let's get married or let's start a relationship. Let's move in together. Before you know one person is pregnant, before you know you start a business together, before you know you got a house together, before you know you have a child together. So there's always one thing keeping you there. When they get to that point where they know that you're on lockdown, they begin to see certain characters. Then you, the innocent person, will begin to ask yourself, okay, was this something I did? What happened? Why have they changed? Why are they now doing something different? You know what? They never changed. They just never showed you that part of you because it wasn't time. You understand? When the Bible says there's an appointed time, these people understand. If from the first day you met them, they showed you their true color, you'd run away. You would run away from that situation. But no, they wait for when they have your emotions locked in, when they have your finance locked in, when they have your baby, when they have your house, when they have different things, when they got you, they got everything about you, they say yes, then they start showing it to you. It's so easy for them to cry. It's so easy for them to want to kill themselves because they know that you can't take stuff like that. As opposed to looking at them and saying, this person has got a twisted mind. You're asking yourself, right, I need to take a step back and I need to help my spouse. I need to help my boyfriend or my girlfriend. I need to help them. This is what they do. They will come up with stuff like, I'm overwhelmed, I find it difficult to manage the children. That's why I get a bit aggressive all the time. This is the woman side of it. I find there's an excuse for everything. Do you know that person that has an excuse for every single thing? Oh, it was because of this. That's why I did that. It was because you said this. That's why I reacted like that. And then when they see they can't win, they break down emotions. They just bring the emotions out. They start crying, they start begging. Oh, because you don't love me anymore. I'm sure you got a boyfriend out there. I'm sure you have a girlfriend out there. I'm sure there's someone you're seeing, because of the way I am, because I'm not beautiful enough, because I'm not handsome enough, because I don't have that job you wanted, because I'm not like your mate. So they use those things, right, to make you feel like, okay, maybe if I go now or if I leave this thing, they'll say, I left them because they didn't have this. They always have that one thing they can hold against you. You understand? Or maybe because of my family. My family is not like yours. That's why you want to leave me. Then you think, oh my goodness, I can't do that now. How can I leave them? That's the mother of my child. That's the father of my children. Oh, because I don't have money. Oh, because I'm sick. Because of this sickness I have. That's why you want to leave me. No, they always have that one thing that they want to hold you down with. So like I say, as opposed to asking yourself, can a narcissist change? Can an abusive person change? You should be asking yourself, can I change myself? Can I make myself better? The amount of time you spend and you invest into trying to find out, can they change? Can I make them better? What strategy should I use? If you apply that much time on yourself, trust me, you'll be like A1. Will you give up all yourself? You give up yourself to them, and it doesn't help you in any way, so to speak. You get me? Someone said something to me once, and this is really, really important. There are 3 doors in life. There's 1, 2, 3 doors in life. Door 1 is your past. Where you coming from? That dirty, nasty relationship that you're trying to forget, that you're trying to move away from. That's the first door. You left it, you came out. You're now in door 2, right? In door 2, right, is where your current situation. Door 3 is your future. A lot of people in abusive relationships here, they're between door 1 and door 2. They're past and they're present. They're past and they're present. They can't go to the future. You know why? They left the abusive relationship, which was a good choice. They went to the middle, which is their present, but they spent years and years and years in the second door thinking, what did I do wrong? How can I change that person? Can an abusive person change? Was it something I did? Was it something that happened to her in her childhood? Was there something that happened to her? Was it one of her relationships that made her bad? You get me? So they spend a lifetime in door 2. And because they spend so much time trying to understand that person, they don't move on. Until you shut that door, right? Door 1 of the past, and say, you know what? That person can't change. Been there, done that. I call it my losses and I move on. You would enter into the future. And trust me, your abusive relationship, number 1, refines you in number 2. Take the knowledge from here, leave it, and go to number 3. When you get to number 3, you'll be a brand new person. Spend your energy, self-love, yeah? Take a shower, do your makeup, make friends, do stuff. Do you understand? I'll tell you something about abusive people, right? They don't co-parent. When you leave them, they use the kids as the weapon of mass destruction. Because every empath or every victim of abuse, they kind of have that emotional attachment to their children if they have one. So the abuser will use the children against the other party. It's just simple. They will use that to make your life hell. They will not honor child arrangements. They will not honor anything. They will make your life hell. Now guess what? There is another kind of abuse that people use. You know that person that was extremely controlling, they isolate you a lot. They don't want you to do nothing. They just want you to sit in the house and watch you. Who are you making a phone call to? Who's that person you're talking to? Don't leave the house. You know those kinds, right? When you leave them, right, and you have children, you take the children, guess what? You might be thinking, everything I've read says, these kind of people will chase me for the children, they will do this, they'll make my life hell, they'll use the children. You know what? If you're with somebody, if you left someone and you had kids with them, and for some reason, they just never made any efforts to get the children, that is strategy number 2. Because you know what? When they had you in the house, all they had you do was take care of the children. They knew that your heart was with the children. You stayed because of the children. You took the children and you fled. You know why they're not chasing you for the children? Because as long as you have the children are your priority. You will stay in the house wherever you run to and be nursing your children. You will not leave the house, you will not make friends, you will not get a job, you will not find love, you will not go into a relationship, you will stay looking after the children and you will not do anything for yourself. So guess what? Even though they're not with you, your life is exactly the same life you lived when you were with them. So they're not with you, but they're controlling you. Wake up, people. Do you understand? You get me? I'm not saying that if you have children and you left an abusive relationship, you shouldn't take care of them. You should. But then, don't let that be the end of your life. Remember, you lived in a relationship where you were not allowed to do anything whatsoever. And now you've come out of it and you're free. Are you still doing nothing? Because if you're still doing nothing, then you're still living a controlled life. And you're not the one controlling your life. Someone else that isn't there is controlling you. Am I making sense? So, I'll keep repeating it. Can an abusive person change? Sorry, they won't change. And I won't, I call it as it is. I won't say they change to make you feel good. No, they don't change. They will not change. As they get older, they get worse. They won't even remain the same. They get worse. They'll treat you worse and all that. Abusive people, are they ever faithful? Never. They're hardly ever faithful. Whether you want to believe it or not, they will cheat on you. Now, the different levels of cheating on people, there's those that actually just go out there and have sex with people. There's nothing you can do about it. They will do it. They will hide. They will do it. They will do it up to the point where when they have traumatized you so much, they will even put it in your face that they're doing it. And there's nothing you can do about it. There's the other ones that they do like the online thing. There's the other one that they haven't actually slept with anyone, but they got that woman in the office. They got that man in the office. That's where they get all their emotional energy from. You see, these people, right, they can't actually stay with one person. They need, with you, right, maybe it's the security, maybe it's the house, maybe it's the family, maybe it's the food, maybe it's all that you give them, that warm home. With the other person, it's something else. They're not satisfied with one thing. It has to be everywhere because that's who they are. But then they will have a way of turning it around to make you feel like you don't have the ability to satisfy them. Which is why when you see victims of abuse, when they've left, the one thing they begin to ask themselves is, maybe I wasn't good enough. Maybe that's why I was treated like that. Maybe that's why it didn't work out. They spend so much time questioning themselves. But guess what? The person you left or the person you're with, have they ever one day questioned themselves to say, is it possible that I'm a bad partner? Is it possible that I'm an abusive partner? No, they don't do that. They will tell you, yeah, I shouted on you because you made me angry. Yes, I broke that thing because it was annoying. So there's a reason. They justify their reasons and they force you to do that. The other thing about abusive people, that they will push you to the edge and then you begin to behave like them. You will snap one day and shout, and then they'll say, hey, look at that. You are an aggressive person. So they have a way of turning it around to make you feel that you are the abusive person. People ask me a question. I have people call me and say, hey, talk to God, what's going on? I need you to tell me something. Am I a narcissist? Once somebody calls me and asks me that question, am I a narcissist? Without hearing their story, you know what I tell them? I say, you're not a narcissist. They say, how do you know? You've not even interviewed me. You've not even heard my story. I said, well, the truth is, a real narcissist doesn't care. They don't care if they're a narcissist. They don't care. They will tell you. So what? That's what they will tell you. They don't care. So the fact that you're so concerned, you're researching, you're trying to find out, did I do anything wrong? Is there any way I can make my life better? Can I change this? You're not a narcissist. You're not the bad person. It's simple. You can't be the bad person. The real narcissists, the real abusive people, they don't care. They can pretend that they care to keep you there, but really they won't. A narcissist will not go on their own to say, I want to go get counseling. They'll say, you know what, I'll get counseling if we go together. Do you know what? I will talk to the pastor if we go together. Do you know what? I will fast and pray if we fast together. A real narcissist will never just on their own just say, you know what? All my relationships, people have said the same thing. You're abusive, you're aggressive, you're this, you're that. So as a result, you know what? I want to take a break in this relationship thing and I want to go and seek help. A real narcissist will never do that. They'll say, oh yeah, you know what? Let's go together. Maybe you're the one that needs help. So when people call me and say, oh, can you tell me, am I a narcissist? Do you think? Because my partner says I'm a narcissist. I'll be like, no, the fact that you're coming here, right? You come in here to ask the question, am I a bad person? Did I do something wrong? You're not the bad person. You can't be the bad person. Except, you've learned another level of manipulation and deception. But literally, when people go to seek help on their own, it means that genuinely they want to seek help. You get me? So, can a narcissist or an abusive person change? It doesn't happen, not in this life. Yeah. So my name is Talk to Dot Ikuriagalachiru, all the way from London, UK. Talk to Dot. You can go on my website, see what's there. If you think you need one-to-one coaching, yeah, go on my website, go and contact me or something. Tell me what your problem is. I'll help you. I got lots of videos on YouTube. Usually I expose domestic abuse. Every single Tuesday I put out a video there. If you don't want to miss these videos, go to my YouTube, Talk to Dot, just Talk to, number 2 Dot, on YouTube. Go there, subscribe to the channel, click the bell button so that when the videos come out, you get a notification and you know that there's a new one. There's a playlist there of, it's called Exposing Domestic Abuse. Go there, just watch them. If you see your life in those videos, then there's a problem in your relationship. So people say, how do I know I'm being abused? I'll ask the question. You know, I like to give examples. When someone is always looking on the internet for jobs, looking in the papers for jobs, calling agencies for jobs, what does that mean? It's either they don't have a job or they need a career change. So they are checking. If you find yourself, right, always looking into sites about relationships, is this a toxic relation, is this abuse, is this aggression, you know, if you keep looking for those kind of topics, then that's in its own is a red flag. That in its own shows that there is a problem. You get me? So, like I said, say again, can an abusive person change? They can't. I'm sorry to say that, but that's the truth. They can't. Sad, but they can't. Did they have things that happened to them in their childhood that made them like that? I don't care. People go through stuff in their lifestyle, in their childhood all the time. People go through stuff in their journey of life all the time. You choose if you want to be good or bad. And besides, if things affected you when you were a child growing up and has turned your head upside down, then stay away from other people's children. You know, keep your abusive self to yourself. So, stop spending your time and your energy trying to, sorry, I keep checking the time. Stop spending your time and your energy trying to understand why is that person a bad person? Okay, they're a bad person, so does it matter why they're bad or what made them bad? They're bad, walk away. You understand? Walk away. So, and I say this all the time, unlike most people that say, oh yeah, when in things of relationship, in things of marriage, you know, I would rather not say if you should end it or if you should stay. I'm a different person, yeah? Talk to Dot. I'm a different person. If you come to me, right? If you come to me and I ask you a couple of questions and you say yes to a number of them, I will not tell you to go and pray. I will not tell you to think about the choice you want to make. I will tell you, if you said yes to 3 or 4 of these questions, get your stuff and run away. Do you get me? I don't tell you, oh, I don't want to get involved. I don't want to be the person responsible to saying someone's marriage or relationship. And no, I want to be the person to tell you, pack it up. Because I don't want to be the person to read in the papers that you got killed. I don't want to be the person to read in the papers to say you drank sniper because you were unhappy and you couldn't talk. I don't want to be the person to hear that you were pregnant and they beat you up and your child died. I don't want to be the person to find out that after all of the suffering and the trauma, they dumped you for another man or they dumped you for another woman. I don't want to be the person. So if you come to my program, if you contact me and you say yes to a couple of questions, I will tell you, end that relationship and walk away. Because in my heart, I want to have peace that I told you the truth. Whether you listen, you don't listen, it's not my problem. But I want to have that peace that I did tell you. And if you live in the UK or in America where the laws are different, if I hear it, you know, from my window, if I see it on the road, by law, I am required to report it. I'd rather report you to say, I think that person is going through abuse. And they check it and say, oh, no, it wasn't abuse. Then I never said anything and I find out. Look here in the UK, right? A few weeks ago, yeah, just 7 days into the isolation, this woman, 33 years old, I think she's got 31 years old, she's got 3 children. The husband killed her. We're still digging into the story, but you know what? I can smell domestic abuse all over it. You get me? It's not normal. Why would you kill your wife? The neighbors said they were screaming and quarreling and shouting. What's that? Abuse. They quarreled and shouted. Everybody is social distancing, so everybody minding their business like we always mind our business in the UK. They quarreled all the way outside to the street. This guy came out with a knife and he stabbed her right there in the street. 3 children, no mother. Father is going to go to jail, obviously. What's going to happen? So yeah, when I sound like very forward, it's because I've seen quite a lot of things and I don't mean to want. If you shout on a woman near me, I will call the police on you. If you hit a man in front of me, right, and I see it and it happens a lot of times, and I know where you live, I will report you. That's who I am. You understand? Because I'd rather I do that than I hear that that woman stabbed her husband or that man beat the wife when I could have done something. So forgive me if I'm forward, that's just it. If you come on my program, if you think you need advice, one-to-one coaching and all that stuff, my stuff is broken down into 4 categories. Category 1, people are about to go into a relationship. You need to know what red flags are so that when you see the devil, you will know what the devil is. You get me? They say, a lot of people are religious. What does the Bible say? Flee from all appearances of evil. If you don't know what evil looks like, how are you going to be able to run for it? You will see evil and you will embrace it. So you need to understand what red flags are. If you're trying to go into a relationship, know what red flags are. So when you see a woman or a man that has abusive tendencies, you will recognize it from the beginning and you will not enter that relationship. Now, let's say you missed the red flags and you got into that relationship. Category 2 that I deal with. I will open your eyes to see if that situation is right, because there's something inside of you that is telling you this something not right here. This doesn't make sense. Why is this person like that? We'll go through a process, and then we'll find out if there's something really not right. So when you find out that you are in an abusive relationship and you need to back it up, the third thing is how you get out of there. Escape plan. You understand? Prison break, because literally you've been living in a prison. You understand? So the third category is your prison break. How you break out of that cell. Because a lot of people miss it. You don't want to charge at that abuser and say, oh, you've been abusing me now, no, I'm going to go to the police. No, you die there. Yeah, you die there. So you need an escape plan. You need a strategy. The fourth category is you come out, you made it out safely of the relationship. Guess what? Most people die within the first year of living an abusive relationship, and they're killed by their partners, their ex-partners. So when you come out, you're not safe yet. You need to understand what you've just come out of, how to heal from that process, how to reset your brain, how to rewire yourself to who you are supposed to be, and how to enter into door number 3, your future, and how to stay safe and secure. 4 categories. So once again, my name is Dot Ikweregelachiru, coming to you all the way from London, Talk to Dot. Can an abusive person change? They cannot change. They get older, they get worse, and they don't change. They just keep manipulating, and they will never change. If you have children, don't leave your children in an abusive home, because you will damage them beyond what you can imagine, and it will take a lot to reset them. Some children cannot be reset after having lived in an abusive relationship, in an abusive family. So, from me to you, this is Talk to Dot. In the next couple of 5 minutes, if you have a question, pop your question into the comment box and I'll respond to it as much as I can. Yeah, if you got a question, let me know now. I've got about 5 minutes before I wrap it up. So if you have a question, ask me a question so I can answer. Yeah. Remember, abuse is about power and control. As long as they can control you, you're fine. We have more physical violence coming from men. Why? Because, well, men are physically stronger than women, and with the man, if they try to emotionally manipulate the woman and she's not bending, what happens? They use the physical force to subdue you, to power you down and control you. Abuse is about power and control. With women, you have women being more covert narcissists. You have them being more emotional manipulators. And it's quite simple. Every single woman has an element of manipulation. I mean, that's just how we're made. If you believe in the Bible, you can see now. We took the apple from the snake and we gave it to Adam. That's women. That's what we've done all our lives. You understand? But it's there. It's inbuilt in us. But there's some people that have taken it to the next level. Like these women, like seriously, when they're done with the man, right, the man will begin to question everything about himself, his existence. So women can manipulate a man so much that the man will lose his mind and his sanity. With the men, when they can't emotionally abuse a woman, they beat her, because that's another way. They use fear to control. With women, a lot of women cannot beat the man, so they use emotions, they use psychological manipulation. For me, I don't look at violence or non-violence. I see abuse as abuse. Before you can beat a person, you start from the head. Mind control. Once you mind control a person, you can do anything to them. You can do anything. I've seen women that slap their men, and the guy is just like, nah, it's okay, that's just how we play. No. They've rewired the guy. You understand? And a lot of men are trained not to hit back. So the women just have the fealty. So yeah, very quickly, if you got any questions, let me know. Men and women do get abused. Women are beginning to come and talk about it, even though a lot of women still don't talk about it, because it's a shameful experience. It's a shameful experience to talk about how you stooped so low in life and let someone do all that stuff to you. So it's not an easy thing to talk about. And a part of them still actually love the person. With men, it's even more difficult because generally females are created to talk. We just talk. You just talk about how you fell in love, how that guy looked at you, your first kiss. I mean, I don't think guys actually talk about first kiss. It's just like if you're talking to your boys like first kiss, they're like, okay, what's wrong with you? You understand? Like, you're too soft. So guys are like strong men. They're hard. They don't really give in to their emotions. So a man who is being abused, I'm sure the 7% that never talk about this stuff, I'm sure 6% of that is men. Because like for a man, like imagine telling your guys at the football game, at the local pub, my wife beats me at home. Hey, you can't manage, you're not a man. I know someone who told his friends about what he was going through, and his friends actually said, if you can manage her, let me come and manage her for you. Do you understand? That's actually degrading. It's actually degrading. With women, somehow women are beginning to talk to their friends, even though you have some women that will still be insensitive and say, but what did you do? Maybe you deserved it, and stuff like that. But at least, somehow it's easier for women to talk to themselves or even talk to a guy about their problems. With a guy, it's quite difficult. So a lot of men go through a lot of emotional trauma and abuse, and they never actually get to talk about it, because when they do, people laugh at them. Society is a big problem. You understand? Society, me and you, were a big problem, because when people talk about these things, we're like, are you sure that story is true? You sure you're not lying? What did you do? You understand? Like a big man like you. Like I have a friend, like you see this guy, 6 foot tall, abs, everything, strong man. When he told me his story, I said, are you serious? How? That small girl. You understand? But I understand these things, we're friends, so we're kind of joking about it. And besides, this thing happened years and years, 20 years ago. But I was just like, wow, I never knew. He said, yeah, because I never talked about it. I never spoke about it. How can I tell someone, look at the way I look? Who would believe me? So, my good people, abusive people do not change. Not so quick to change. Yeah, man. They don't change. They just, they make you feel they're changing so you can stay longer. Before 5 years has passed, 10 years has passed, or 9 years has passed, you're thinking, if I leave now at my 9th year, and next year is 10 years, so we won't do that 10-year anniversary. And the guy is already promising, or the girl is already promising that 10-year anniversary celebration. So there's always that one thing to rope you in. Look now, our son is about to go into secondary school. This is not the time to leave. There's never the right time to leave, but you just need to just tell yourself it's time to go. They don't change. They make you believe that they're going to change, but they don't change. And they are swept, they chip in generally. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, women talk, we try to talk about it. Some women don't, some people that they never talk about it. Because when they do, people say stuff now. People say stuff, I sure now I'm saying, let me throw this in there. Some people might not agree with me, but I remember that story in Nigeria. Pastor Kosa and that girl Busola, one thing that annoyed me about that story, I don't care who is lying, even though I know who was lying anyway. I don't want, that's my opinion. One thing I didn't like about that story that really, really annoyed me was the fact that all people could say was, why did it take her 20 years to talk about it? That is exactly why people never talk. You understand? Because the first time you want to talk about it, are you sure you are not the one that threw yourself on him? Are you sure you are not the one that did this? Are you sure you did not annoy your husband and that's why he slapped you? Are you sure you didn't do this to her and that's why she's crying? Are you sure people have those things, so you just keep your mouth shut, and then years are passing. So by the time 2 or 3 years pass, you're thinking, this thing is still going on. Should I talk about it now? People say, but why didn't you talk about this thing then? Did it just start? You understand? So this is the thing. Society is a big problem. We need to actually engage ourselves and learn. A lot of times, like, I spend time trying to talk to people that are being abused, or people that have come out of abuse, or people that are about to enter abuse. But I also try to talk to the people around us, around these people that are going through stuff, because you're the ones that will see it. You're the ones that will keep that conversation. You're the ones that they will come to you to say, see what's going on in my home. How you respond to them will determine if they get the energy to move or not. Look at that girl in Nigeria that got killed. Pregnant, 6 months pregnant. The guy beat her, bust her spleen open. Baby was an incubator. I don't know if the baby survived or died. The woman died. But her WhatsApp messages showed that she was sending messages to people saying, look at what is going on in my house. What did they say to her? Even the pastor said, you know you're a married woman, and in fact you have 2 children already. You're about to give birth. Do you want to be a single mother? Don't worry, he will change. Pray. You know why that story really annoys me, and I talk about it all the time, right? And this will be my last before I cut off. You know why that story annoys me? The day the guy beat her and killed her, guess where she was coming from? Church. She must have listened. Okay, let me go for church program and pray. This guy will change. They've told me I shouldn't be a single mother. I should just manage. I shouldn't quarrel. I shouldn't talk. I should do whatever he says. I'll be fine. Just keep coming for church programs and pray. Daddy said, don't go. She went for the church program. She came back. What did the guy say? She stayed too long. And he started beating her. Now, a man that beat his pregnant wife, burst her spleen, internal bleeding, and she died. It was not the first time he was beating her, because she said that in her messages, if I was the governor of this world, every single person that she spoke to that told her to stay, including that pastor, they're all going to jail, because all of them are murderers. They killed her. Like I say it as it is. If somebody came to you and said they're being abused, in fact, my life is in danger, and you told them to stay, and they stayed, and they died there, you killed them. Anyways, this is me. Talk to Dots. All the way from London, UK. As usual, exposing domestic abuse for what it is. So before I go, I'll say it again for the 100th time. Babe, I see you, bro. Can an abusive person change? They can't change. They won't change. They don't want to change. They love being who they are. Who can change? You that is being abused is the person to change. Change yourself. Change up your life. Be a happy person. Walk away. The Bible says till death do us part, till we kill ourselves. Yeah, there's a lot of things in that Bible that if you check it, you will find out where it's coming from. You see, the Bible, right, is written, there's so many people that are inside the Bible. So there's the voice of God, there's the voice of man, and there's the voice of the devil. Everybody's talking inside the Bible. So when people say the Bible says, what does the Bible say really? Who said that? No, seriously, who said that? Read your Bible and be smart. God does not want anyone to be unhappy. You understand? Doesn't want anyone to be unhappy. So if you're saying that they said till death do you part, do you understand? There's different kinds of death. There's the spiritual death, there's the physical death. A lot of people have died spiritually, emotionally. Their insides are dead. They're just a walking carcass in a relationship. They are dead, walking dead. If you died emotionally and physically and emotionally and spiritually, then you can say, okay, death has done us part. Walk away. At the end of the day, if we're still quoting Bible, the Bible says that when judgment comes, each person will account for their own. They're not coming as a couple to stand before their maker, individual parties. So when you die in that marriage, because till death do you part, you will go and stand in front of your maker, and you will answer why you stayed in that place and ended your life before its time, when you left your children there to suffer. Think about it. You know what I mean? But I know you're just trying not to antagonize me as usual, my sister. But yeah, people, I need to go now. If you have any questions, like I said, go to my website, Talk to Dot, www.talktodot.com. Contact me, tell me what your problem is. I'll see how I can help you in this time of Kuro and COVID-19. Let's stay safe, wash your hands. You know, see me, like I'm in my house. I got this one here next to me. I got everything, staying safe in my house, you know. I acting like someone that's got OCD now, washing, cleaning, all that stuff, not stepping out of the house. Stay safe. If you're going to be paranoid, don't worry, I got you. I'm doing like a daily, a daily motivational. I'll bring out a video every day. Go to YouTube and watch it and be inspired. Go to my page, like my page, inspiration, so that you keep your mind in the same place. Okay, I want people to keep their mind in the same place, because once your head is messed up, everything, that's it. You have to guard yourself. Even the Bible says, be careful about what goes into you, because what goes in, what you see, what you hear, what you taste, it contaminates you from inside. And once you get contaminated inside, that's it. You understand? So from me to you, more love, peace, respect, guidance.